Yo, 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 Chuggalos. Happy day 6 of the BCP BH Advent Calendar 2025 podcast. Here we are once again in my cave, uh, doing a solo run here. Day 6 of the Advent Calendar brings us a special little libation from Third Eye. I'm excited about this because I've had Third Eye. Um, JT, I just watched yours. Okay, I cheated a little bit. I watched yours. And you have had Third Eye. You've had it at my house. I had two different Third Eyes, a six pack of two different Third Eyes in my house. And you had it right after I got it. So it's maybe been a couple months ago. I still have some Scottish Ale, the one that won all the awards. It's called Higher Consciousness, and I love it. It's great. It's one of the best Scottish ales I've ever had in my life. I love Scottish ale. And I think this may have been the one you had. I think I had the other one is gone. I already drank it all. And I think it was Third Eye PA. Get it? Oh man, that's a clever name. Third Eye PA, like an IPA, but it's Third Eye IPA, but they just call it Third IPA. Okay, you get it. I got it. Anyway, I think I drank all that one, but I think you might have had the Scottish Ale because I remember I was raving about it after I got it, and I made you come down and try some one night when you were over here. Anyway, I've still got some left, and I've got 3 left, and I'm gonna save one for you, JT. So this goes out to you. And Stev, if you want to come over, you're invited, and I'll save one for you too. Anyway, so much for Higher Consciousness. That I think that's the Scottish Ale they're talking about. It's called Wee Heavy, and it is good. You guys will love it. Anyway, so I've really been excited to try this one because Third Eye is really known. They've won a lot of medals, gold medals, silver medals, Grand Reserve medals, which they got for Third Eye, by the way, a gold medal and a Grand Reserve. But what's really been their classic perennial award winners, and what they're known for is their stouts. They're called the King of the Stouts. I don't know who gave them that name, but they're called the King of the Stouts. They have 4 other stouts besides this one that have all been perpetual award winners. And it's on their site. They make them from 4.7%, believe it or not. I've never even heard of a stout that's that low of an alcohol content. But they make it from there all the way up to double stouts that are 10 plus ABVs. So, and they're all supposed to be delicious. They have different flavorings in them and that sort of thing. There's another milk stout. The 4.7 one is another milk stout. This one wasn't even listed on there. But eyes wide open, coffee and vanilla sounds really good. It is a 6.3, so not super high for a stout. And I heard the IBU count was 24, which sounds about right. You don't really get typically heavily hopped, super bitter stouts, unless they're screwed up, like the one that we had the other day, in my opinion. Just my opinion. Anyway, so Third Eye, great brewer, close by, Ohio, Hamilton. We definitely ought to go there. We should go check that place out, man, because they're loaded with all kinds of medal-winning beers. They have great seasonals. They have great classics. They have just really solid beers all the way around. So I'm excited to try this one. All right, I'm going to pop this baby open. Eyes wide open, coffee and vanilla milk stout, 24 IBU, 6.3 alcohol by volume. We're going to talk a little bit about milk stout and what milk stout is and what it isn't. All right, here we go. One thing I was going to talk about in my podcast last night, which I ended up not getting to, was that IPA that I really liked a lot. That was the AleSmith. And that head that was on there was really thick, creamy head with a really tight little, it was real foamy and thick. Um, it's really awesome. And I was kind of raving about it. One thing I wanted to note for everyone, just in case anyone had any, if you didn't know or you were curious about it, how come sometimes the heads are really thin and the bubbles just blow off the foam right away and it doesn't stay? And how come sometimes they're really thick like that? Well, the good news is when you see a thick head like that, what that typically means is that's naturally fermented. That's a naturally fermented head that's actually come out of the brew itself. It's not carbonated. It's not falsely, or not falsely, but I mean, it's not, a sort of an additional additive that they added during the canning or bottling process where they pump in the CO2, and that's the carbonation you get. That carbonation won't stay. As soon as you pop it open and pour it, that carbonation will blow off really quickly, and you see those as, it might be real fizzy, might be actually taller, but not thick. It's real thin, and it'll just immediately, you'll see it just blow off, and then you'll get down to something like this. So, anyway, this is a nice, thick, dark brown color, as you would expect. Ooh, there is certainly chocolate in there. I smell chocolate. That doesn't mean they added chocolate, remember. They brew this, I think they said they brew this with chocolate malt, roasted malt, roasted barley, and caramel, which we talked about caramel, I think, a little bit last night as well. A very common base that everyone uses because it's really nice and sweet. It provides a lot of sweetness and malt sugars for the fermentation and imparts some caramely flavors, real smooth caramely sweet flavors that are really great. So that's always a bonus. But then the roasted stuff that they add in there and the chocolate malt is simply roasted barley that's been malted at a higher temperature for longer, and so the malt turns chocolate color, really dark black, and it's going to give you stronger flavors for sure. So I'm going to try this here. Oh man, wow! And vanilla. I taste the vanilla. I'm all over that. The chocolate and the vanilla, and yep, and some coffee. I get some coffee in there. Coffee's pretty. It's all really well balanced. My. And I taste that residual sweetness from the milk lactose. So let me talk about that real quick. That's really important. So milk stout uses lactose, which is sugar from milk, and why they do that is for 100% for sweetness, because lactose as a sugar is a non-fermentable sugar. Now you've heard me talk about this in the last couple of, I don't remember which episode it was during this advent calendar, but I remember I've talked about unfermentable sugars a couple of times. And I know I've talked about it in past advent calendars too. Unfermentable sugars are sugars that cannot be broken down by yeast, by brewer's yeast. So, some are partially unfermentable, which part of the sugars can be, and then part of them can't be. The ones that are broken down and eaten by the yeast turn into alcohol, which boosts your alcohol content. And the ones that can't be broken down are left there in the brew after the fermentation process is finished and remains there as residual sugar. So it sweetens it up a little bit. Okay, so why would people want to do that? The brewers use milk lactose in stouts a lot because a lot of times, there could have, I tell you, the brewer that we had the stout for on day 2, was it? That brewer should have used some lactose. Why? Well, brewers that make stouts are typically use it to balance out the bitterness that's caused by super roasted barley and chocolate malts that are used that can impart some bitterness in the finish. So Lactose doesn't go away, it's sugar, and you'll taste it all the way through the finish at the back of the throat. So it balances out that bitterness and creates a more balanced, sweeter finish for the beer. And also, it imparts, because it's from milk, it imparts some creaminess in the texture of the stout, and you can really feel that. It's a mouthfeel thing more than a taste thing, the creaminess part. But you can really feel that in this. It's a really well done stout. Mm, definitely creamy. Um, Sort of borderline on a anybody that's been to Mexico and had a licuados down there. It's kind of the Mexican version of a milkshake, but it's not quite a milkshake. It's not frozen cold and thick. It's flavored milk, and they kind of blend it, and it's got a real creamy feel to it, but it's thinner and drinkable, more drinkable than like a shake. Anyway, I'm going on again about stuff. This is wonderful. Man, the combinations of chocolate and coffee and vanilla and the lactose, it just is a treat. It's a really good stout, really well balanced. This is like the stout that the day two stout wanted to be. This is really good, really super. This is a pleasure to drink. I'm really enjoying this. Mm. Third Eye hit another one. This one is not on the list of the beers of theirs that has won awards, and it's not even on their website. So it must be, I don't know if it's seasonal or if it's just a new stout that they're brewing now. But the other four stouts that are on there, go check it out. Go check out their website and check it out. They're all the other four are award winners, home run hitters, and they're all good in their own right. This is a great example. The 24 IBU sounds right. It's real subtle. There's enough hops in there to provide some aroma, to provide a little bit of a hint of a bitterness to balance everything out. But hop bitterness versus the roasted barley bitterness, and so it's really well done. The whole thing is just so well balanced. It's the best stout I've had in a long time. Mm. Much sweeter than your typical stout, which is characteristic of a milk stout. So I'm really enjoying this a lot. I think this may be the best stout I've had all year. Maybe the best stout I've had in a while. And frankly, I'm really excited to try their other stouts. I want to try some of their award winners, like some of their double stouts, and I want to try them all. I think it'd be. I think they're probably going to make. They're probably based on what I've already drank. I've had these other two beers. The Scottish Ale's phenomenal. The other beer was really good too. So easy drinking. It was really lovely. Um, they've got Kolsch. They've got all kinds of different beers. So at first when I saw it, I thought, oh, Third Eye, aren't they the Kolsch that we're drinking? But that's not Third Eye. That's actually 450 North that we're drinking the Kolsch on. And then, but we do have another Third Eye in the Advent calendar this year, and it's going to be an interesting one. It's also not on the list, by the way, on their website, but it's called Blood Orange Wheat Ale. So it's going to kind of be reminiscent of maybe the fat tire, maybe kind of a hefeweizen with some orange in it, maybe a little bit, something like that. But I'm imagining, because of everything I've had so far, I've had three of their beers. They're all home runs. I've liked them all. I'm guessing that the blood orange wheat ale that we have in front of us, and I think it's only about 5 days out from here that we're having it. I'm excited to try that. I think it's going to be really good. I really like this brewery. They're really solid. They're hitting everything that I've tasted. I've really liked. What I saw on the website really intrigued me. I haven't seen those, but pretty sure we can get them here at the corner store, which JT tells me they changed their name. I can't remember what he told me the name was now. It's out in Beaver Creek on the way out to to our office, but or we can get it here at Arrow. I think at Arrow they have a bunch of Third Eyes. I think that's where I got these two, the ones that I already had. So anyway, I digress a little bit. Oh, they also use lactose in brewers are using it in other beers now too. So I was curious about that, and I checked it out, and it turns out they're using it for in fruited beers like sours when they want to add back some. It's kind of added late in the brewing process for stouts too. By the way, it's not added in the beginning during the boil. It's actually kind of late in the brewing cycle, so kind of late in the boil, and then it'll come out and it goes through the fermentation cycle, but it doesn't ferment. So that's what I learned. But the brewers use it in the fruited beers like tarts and sours to add some sweetness back after the fermentation process, because fruited beers are using fructose, which is a simpler sugar than the, what is it? It's called beta 1,4 bonds that actually bond the monosaccharide saccharides together in the lactose, which it's like a, okay, we're totally escaping into geek talk, so I hope I'm not losing you guys. But it creates a complex chain. If you guys remember your chemistry from high school, maybe the chemical bond that gets formed in sugars. There's complex bonds of carbons and hydrogens and oxygens, and things like glucose are very simple bonds. And the higher up the chain you go, to the more complex sugars you go, the bigger the chains and the greater the bonds are, and all that stuff. So monosaccharides happen to be what's in milk stout, and created organically through organic processes, and they're the ones that can't be broken down by the brewer's yeast. So because of those bonds, those 1,4 bonds. Anyway, I don't know why I digress with that. That was really weird. Have another beer, Scott. Chill out. So that's it. That's my day 6, and that's all the information that I have to give on this topic for right now. But as for this beer, this wonderful, wonderful coffee vanilla milk stout, it is fantastic. It is just fantastic. It's great. I would highly recommend this to anybody. Like I said, I think it's the best stout I've had all year for sure, and possibly the best stout I've had in several years. This one's a definite home run for me. I'm going to rank this a 4.75 as well. That's about as high as I go on stouts. I could go 5. For some reason, I just want to say 4.75. Like the IPA that I had last night was just outstanding. It was an excellent beer. Great example of a West Coast IPA. Wasn't over hopped, wasn't unbalanced with too much bitterness, too much dry hopped, aroma or whatever. It was perfect. It was like the perfect IPA. A little bit hoppier than a Midwest or a New England IPA. But I loved it. I thought it was great. And same thing, I love this. I'm going to give it a 4.75. Can't recommend it highly enough. Interested, I saw JT's, but I'm interested in seeing the rest of yours as well. So I'll look forward to tuning in and seeing all those. And until tomorrow, day 7, this is Phil signing out. Hope you guys had a great week, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Hopefully, I think we'll be back together. JT and I will be back together, probably over at his infamous bar now. He's done some things with the bar, so I'm not going to tell you any more about it. But he's done some things with it, and it's going to be fun for you guys all to see it when you come on over. All right, that's it from me. From SFIL's Casa to yours. Happy holidays, happy advent calendar, and ciao. Have a good night.